Tuesday, February 17th, is National Drink Wine Day, or as I call it, every day. Uh, so there are all kinds of studies about wine being good for you, and then there are other studies that says wine is bad for you. But out of all the things you can drink, wine is the only one that anyone has ever said could be good for you. As with all things, in moderation, and specifically the red wines versus the whites and the pinks and the bubbles, but a nice red wine. My problem with red wine is they give it to you in a bottle, and the bottle's hollowed out at the bottom, and you get about 12 ounces. In a big bottle, you get about 12 ounces of wine, which is about a 3-ounce cup. So as long as you take your wine glass and you only fill it about this much, and that's a respectable amount of wine. But no, it's a wine glass, not a wine filler upper to the quarter line limit thingy. It's a wine glass. You put freaking wine in it. And then you whine about it. With this voice, it sounds like I'm whining. So a typical bottle of wine gives you 4 glasses of wine. And if you tell somebody you drank a bottle of wine, they're going to look down upon you. Conversely, if you said, I drank 4 glasses of wine, they're going to be like, that wasn't too much. Why? Because they're thinking that a wine glass is only filled to like right there. Drink the wines. Enjoy the wines. Live life in moderation. You don't want to do damage to yourself because of the enjoyment of the wines. You know what fixes this problem? I'll be honest with you. What fixes this problem is low quality wine. Because all wine is good. Some is better. Some is amazing. But good, it's the standard. Some is bad, but most of it's good. So if you get you some Giulio and Gallows in the gallon jug, that's more than 4 glasses. And it's only 1 bottle, technically. Loophole! We found it. Think about that and enjoy yourself a nice glass of Chianti. On February the 17th, Tuesday, February the 17th, National Drink Wine Day. Wednesday, February 18th, is National Thumb Appreciation Day. Now, a lot of creatures have thumbs, but how many of them have opposable thumbs? How many of them can play thumb wars? Do you know how hard life is without these little digits right here? All of the things that make us who we are involve this. I mean, we could probably, we'll find a way. We would strengthen these and, man, you don't realize how appreciative you should be of your thumbs until you try doing anything without them. Can he write a note without his thumbs? I think I can. I'm just going to write down I, takes a little longer, love you. I did do that. Look at that. Look at me writing things without using my opposable thumb. But it's easier. It's easier and there's no way you could play thumb wars without a thumb. You would have to find some other kind of war to play with your thumb. Index finger wars. Pew 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 pew. Oh, your finger gun just got ruined when you take away the thumb. Okay, it would just be K. K, and if you're a clan member, a third K. You can still do M's and W's. Modern Warfare, baby. That's my clique. That's how I roll. So there are limited things you can't count the European way. 1, 2, 3. You can't do that. You'd have to go back to old school American way. 1, 2, 3, which with arthritis and obesity makes getting all hard. It makes it harder. Yes, this is the British way and the European way and also the fat person way of counting with their fingers. Oh, but can you still scissor people? Yes. Yes, scissoring does not require opposable thumbs. Think about that on Wednesday, February the 18th, National Thumb Appreciation Day. Thursday, February 19th, is National Tug of War Day. There are so few people on the planet who have ever war of the tugged. It's not something that people do on a regular basis. Not a lot of people are out there tugging on the wars of the tugs. Lining up against, you put your 12 best guys and I'll give you my 12 best guys, and they will struggle intensely for a very brief period of time until a tiny little flag goes one way or the other. That's what it's all about. That's the big tug of war thing. I don't even think tug of war is an Olympic sport because it's all about, there's technique involved. I learned from Squid Games that there's technique involved. If you work in unison, you lower your center of gravity. But I never knew that growing up. I was always put the fat people over here and the strong people over there, and let's see who can win. Give me an elephant over there and a whole bunch of little people over here, and let's see who can win. I seen a lot of tug of wars. Give me a lion over here and the world's strongest man over here, and let's see what happens. Those are real tug of war things that have occurred over the years. I have war of the tugged many times, and it is an insane workout. It is an insane workout for an extremely brief period of time, because you are really putting your entire being into just everything that you have. You are putting into this pulling of a rope for a very short struggle, an intense struggle. There should be a machine in the gym that can simulate that workout, because there's nothing like it. There's nothing like just giving everything you have for 30 seconds. And afterwards, you feel every bit of it. You're like, wow, I didn't even know I had muscles there. Can't believe that muscle that I never knew of hurts that bad. Yeah, they should invent that machine. That's a good all-body workout experience. Like today, today for your 1-minute workout, the tug of war machine, and go. But it wouldn't work unless there was so like the tug of war machine. I could see it now in my brain. You have to strap into it. Can't let go. You got to fight, right? And then sharp prongy things on the other side, so that if you fail to tug on the war efficiently, you are impaled. Impaled on the sharp prongy things. Woo, that's going to make for a workout. But you only got to do it for 60 seconds. 60 seconds or the rest of your life. I would love to use the tug of war metaphor more, and that you should give everything you absolutely have for at least 60 seconds of every day to one thing. But so few people on the planet have ever tug of warred, it would be lost on them. Think about that. Sorry, wrong screen is up because I got so many things going on. Think about that on Thursday, February 19th, National Tug of War Day. Friday, February 20th, is National Cherry Pie Day. She's my cherry pie. I know that sounds a lot more like a marching cadence because that's the. I have the rock song "She's My Cherry Pie" or "Cherry Pie" by Warrant in my head, and I have a marching cadence that is very similar. She's my cherry pie, and I can't deconflict the two. But let's talk about cherry pie. Let's talk about it for a second. They're very hard to make, unless you cheat. Unless you get the pre-made dough, the crust, the pan, and you get the cherries that are already done for you. So you just plop them in there. Maybe you put a lid on it. Maybe you don't put a lid on it. Maybe you score the lid so you get the lines. Maybe you do those things. And then, of course, you got to preheat, and then you got to bake, and then you get your oven mixture going. And then you got to cool it because cherry pies are one of the pies that got to be cooled, right? Most fruit pies, I believe, have to be cooled. And then finally, you get you some Cool Whip, and you can eat your cherry pie. Or the alternative is Hostess cherry pies. Do they still make those? Do they still make those wonderful little pockets of fruit-flavored things inside a frosty, flaky thing? I loved Hostess fruit pies. You know, I wasn't allowed to steal. I wasn't allowed to steal, but my dad would make me walk to the grocery store, a mile away and pick up groceries and walk back with groceries. Well, I charged him. He didn't know this, but Hostess fruit pies were like 25 cents back then. And daggone it, I was getting me a fruit pie to energize me to get all the way back to the house with the groceries that I had to carry. And these were paper bags, man. We didn't have plastic bags with handles back then. This was paper, no handle paper bags. So I walked to the grocery store, I'd buy some grocery stuff on a list, and not on that list, a little Hostess cherry pie. I love me some Hostess cherry pie. And you can too, if they still exist. So, not honey buns, though. Don't get me started on the honey bun thing. You're going to have to listen to the show for that. If Hostess fruit pies still exist, find yourself one and enjoy it. If they don't exist, either do it yourself, bribe your spouse, or go to the nearest confectionery and get yourself one. I went to Bella Sicily yesterday, and as far as confectionaries go, mamma mia, man, do they have a selection of the sweets. In Italy, it's called a pasticceria, but it's basically a confectionery. It's a pasticceria and a bar, because they got all the food that you would want, no alcohol, but they have all the desserts that you want. Hey, Bella Sicilia, please add a bar. Can't do it because it's Pennsylvania and our liquor laws are stupid. Hate speech. Now, if I called Pennsylvania liquor laws stupid and I got hate speech because of it, that one I would actually understand. Anyway, celebrate Friday, February 20th. National Cherry Pie Day. Saturday, February 21st is National Caregivers Day. A person who gives care to another for money. Otherwise, it would just be called National Human Being Day, because we are all caregivers. Some are not. Some are good. Some are great. Some are really, really bad. But all of us are entrusted to be a caregiver of someone or something. So National Caregivers Day is not about human beings being caregivers. It's about people who are trained, hopefully, and paid, hopefully, to care for human beings, generally that they are not married to, or that they are not emotionally, they're not connected to. There's no, relationship. They're strangers that get paid to come into your home and take care of mom and dad, or brother and sister, or dog. If you have a person that comes to your house and takes care of your dog, technically they're a caregiver. They should be appreciated on National Caregivers Day. But who is the most famous? Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the most famous caregiver of them all? We all know. If you live anywhere near the United States of America, you know who the most important caregiver of them all is. And I don't even want to say it out loud because she may hear me. Because they have a wonderful little song. They got a song that they sing at the end of their commercials. And if that song hits my wife's ear holes, then for the next several hours, for no reason whatsoever, I have to hear. Visiting angels, America's source for home care. Just random, throughout the day, all day, anytime. Visiting angel. Do you know how irritating that can be? She does. Because much like how I express my emotions here, I do that in real life too. I express my emotions in real life when I hear visiting angels for the 15th time, for the 16th time, for the 17th time. Please stop singing visiting angels. No. She will continue. But it's okay, because Saturday, February 22nd isn't her day. She doesn't get paid to be a visiting angel. She does it voluntarily. Caregiver was what I meant to say. Think about that on Saturday, February 21st. National Caregiver Day. Sunday, February 22nd is National Supermarket Employee Day. Whether they are a supermarket employee or a grocery store employee or a bodega that sells food employee, I think it's very important that anyone in the service industry you be nice to. And traditionally, supermarket workers are not known to be in the service industry. These are, what were they called during the pandemic? Essential workers. They were the first line in defense against COVID starvation. And those men and women braved the front lines of the plague to sell you food. But for the most part, when they're not braving the front lines and they're not being mission essential and they're just everyday people who come to work and do the best job that they can do and make the money that they make to sustain life, it's an unforgiving job. So be forgiving. It's, there's no place to tip the cashier. Here's what I would recommend. Whenever possible, if you see a robot doing a job in a supermarket, disable it. Now is the time to fight Skynet. like if a robot is cleaning the floors, and some maple syrup accidentally, no, and some crazy glue accidentally fell in front of it, it would still clean it up because it's a robot and it doesn't know you shouldn't try to clean up glue. Super glue. It's going to be bad, okay? So you disable the robot, and what does that mean? That means a human being has to do the job. I absolutely refuse to self-checkout. I won't do it. I won't do it. And just yesterday I was in BJ's because it's my favorite store. You know why? I like BJ's. So I'm inside BJ's, and there are three people in front of me in the human aisle, and all of them have a BJ's worth of a BJ's full a shopping cart full of BJ's, basically. And there I am with a tiny little amount of stuff that and I can get you over here. You can come over here, sir. No, no, I will wait for the human being because I respect the human being at the supermarket, not self checkout. I'm not going to do it. And my refusal to use self checkout means they have to hire employees if they want my business. And if there is no line manned by a human being, I will abandon that cart where it stands and leave. That's the principle that I've set. And it makes a human being put it back. These may not seem appreciative, but I am very appreciative. I greet everybody. They make them wear a name tag. I call them by their name. I thank them. I please and thank them as you should with anyone you deal with. But, if you don't do it all the time, start small. Let's do it on Sunday, February 22nd, National Supermarket Employee Appreciation Day.